In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight. That over there is Cash Kraus.
It's good to be back.
It is good.
It feels good.
It's always good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. On this cold. Is it winter yet?
No, it's definitely winter. I don't know if you can feel in here, but it is a chilly
Is it the winter
one.
solstice yet?
I'll ask you this. When is the last time you saw me wear a sweatshirt on this podcast?
Ooh. That probably was last winter.
There you go. So that is when you know.
So don't check your
winter is in
calendars,
full
people.
effect.
Just look on this
Yes.
podcast. If Mason is wearing a sweater, it's winter. Your crops are dying. The frost has came. Winter is not coming.
Fasting is
Tell
upon
Jon
us.
Snow it's came.
Yeah,
It's here.
it's already came, yeah.
But yeah, and not a bad sweatshirt. I'm just now looking at it.
Oh, thank you.
I like that a lot. You got
Yeah,
a
it's a little stormtrooper
little
there.
stormtrooper. A little, it's cool art. It almost looks like the Scary Stories.
Ooh,
art.
yeah, it does.
It looks a
Yeah,
little
very.
scary, a little spooky.
A little faded.
Yeah, but we're not here to talk about Star Wars.
No, we're not.
That's every
That's every other podcast.
every other podcast that we do.
In every other hour of our existence
Yes,
in general.
absolutely. If we're not breathing, we're talking about Star Wars.
Right.
But this is a long time coming, Mason.
It is.
We've been talking about this movie for a long, and we didn't bring the poster into frame.
No, we didn't, because we have the poster right there. It's hung up.
It's just
it's the one
2
poster
inches to
out
the
of
left of
frame.
me, so
Yeah.
you can't see it at all. But
Oh, you can see it a little bit.
oh, can you?
Yeah, here, I'll just do a special little bop. There it is. There it is for everyone right there.
There it is.
You can see it.
Sculpted, beautiful chin,
It is beautiful.
leather jacket.
What a beautiful man right there. Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
Yes,
I think it's
yes.
Jewish.
It is.
But yeah, we are here to talk about the newest Terminator, Dark Fate. And this is, to make it less confusing, this is the 6th movie in the entry.
But only third now canon.
Yes, but it is technically the third one after 2,
Right.
because none of the other ones exist now.
Rise of the Machines, Genesis, and Salvation
Yep.
are all considered now in alternative universes.
Yeah, delete that out of
Yes,
your
out of your
fucking
brain
mind.
when you go see this one.
Go get your money back if you paid your tickets to that.
Yeah, I think
Because,
they're giving massive refunds, all the studios.
Because
said,
they
"No
say
longer
that
canon."
was because those were so bad that you have to forget that they happened.
Yes.
But yeah, and at this point, Mason, let me tell you, the Terminator franchise is absolutely fucked. I mean, the timeline.
Oh, yes. the
With
timeline was.
oh my god, dude, it's fucking. It's hard
But I like
enough.
what
It's hard
James-
enough to do a time travel movie. So many roles you got to do. That's why filmmakers don't really dabble in it.
No,
'Cause
it's
they're
just
so-
too hard.
It's very, very
Yeah.
difficult. But man, is this one just all over the fucking map with this.
It is.
It's how many different timelines are
It
there
kind of
now?
reminds me of like Rick and Morty. You know, where
Yes,
there's so
'cause
many
there's
different
1,000
alternative
different
timelines.
where
Where you're just like, hop into one of them.
Yeah, and where
Watch a
I'm
movie.
just not even sure what's what anymore.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're still like picking and pulling what they think is still right. Because I mean, think about Terminator: Rise of the Machines. John Connor came back for that,
Mm-hmm.
but it was really his wife that was really the hero of that. It was really ended up Claire Danes. It really ended up she was the one sending back robots at the end of that. Terminator Salvation, shows a different John Connor. There's
does.
been 5 different John Connors
have been.
played by 5 different men in this.
And the one in Salvation was the one who really hated studio men and yelled at the grip guy or whatever, or the light guy, right? That's the one.
I think it was the cinematographer he yelled at.
What?
Or
Was
maybe it
it?
wasn't because he walked in front of the frame. It was a lighting guy or something.
Yeah,
it
it was
wasn't
like
like
a
a
grip
lower
or
guy because he knew
lighting,
his name. But yeah, and that John Connor was played by Christian Bale.
Yes. And we all know Christian Bale.
And that was Terminator Salvation. That was when the war was kicking off. And that one doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't. It's obsolete. It's wiped away.
Gone.
Yes.
Erased from my mind. That one, Rise of Machines, also gone. Never happened.
Nope.
Terminator Genesis.
For whatever that was.
That was what was that? John Connor
ended
played
up
by a
being like
different
the-
man.
Yes, but ended up being like the bad
He ended up
guy
being
or
a
something?
Terminator.
Yeah, Terminator, yeah.
So in that universe, and then Sarah Connor ended up being trained by Arnold. Remember, he went back as a kid and trained her. That movie never happened.
Nope. And also the short-lived Sarah Connor Chronicles in
Yes,
2008,
which I heard,
was a TV show.
which I heard isn't bad. What I've heard is people have pretty much liked those. It went on for 2 or 3 seasons or something. I've heard it's like it wasn't bad. But yeah, that and then in that one, John Connor's played by another man.
It is, yeah.
Never happened.
Never. Nope. None of that happened.
None of those men were ever really John Connor. So this is the third and actual Terminator.
Yes. And the third one since 1991. So we're looking at what? 28 years?
Yeah, the third. I mean, besides the 4 that were made.
Yeah, exactly. Since James Cameron took over, rather.
Yeah. So it's been a
Or at
very,
least had his hands in it.
very long time. And so this is the official one. And this is the one, was supposed to be the one that was as high as quality as the other 2, right?
Correct.
That's
yes.
what they're saying. So
and
what,
as good a storyline and whatnot.
Yes. So what did you think about it, Mason? Was it as high as quality as the first and second Terminator?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the action in it. I thought the story was good. If I'm being completely honest, I think they could have taken a few more risks. I kind of saw everything happen, and I kind of knew everything that was going to happen. But to make one after 29 years and to make it kind of put the story back together and have it make sense, I liked it. And I like the new bad guys. I like how Skynet's obsolete, and now it's this new AI called Legion.
Mm-hmm.
I liked all that, and it all made sense with nuclear weapons, with cell phones. I kind of felt like they used all the technology now in the future to kind of tie it in together.
I felt very mixed about this movie. Had very mixed feelings. As a Terminator fan, like a diehard Terminator fan, I felt it was not nearly the quality of the first and second one, which are two of my favorite sci-fi, 2 of my favorite movies of all time. They're damn near perfect films.
Right.
And this movie really tells you to kind of erase those ones in the back of your mind with the whole new Legion thing and Skynet being obviously, like you said, to me, the story really lacked because it is almost an exact story of the second one.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost...
Well, and that's what I mean by taking more risks, is the fact that they literally copied T2, and it was like a continuation, except the only change was the big reveal at the end.
Yeah.
Of who she was that they were protecting.
Was it?
Which
and
it wasn't a reveal to me because I saw that a mile away.
Yeah.
With our culture.
Because it was the same exact reveal of the first one when they reveal that she's the mom of the leader of the resistance. It's not a crazy, that's why I thought the writing was very lazy to be like the third and follow-up for the first 2. When the first 2 writing is so good, the sci-fi is so good in those. I thought that writing was like, because it's just an exact revamped story of that second one.
Yes.
And I wasn't a fan of how they got rid of John Connor at the very start.
Yeah, so it was 2 years afterwards, and they just, I guess there were multiple T-800s that came out that were on the planet hunting John Connor.
Yes.
And one of them just ended up shooting him 2 years later after everything was already said and done and Skynet was obsolete in the alternative
So
universe.
Sarah Connor and John Connor, after this, what happened to the second one, They defeated Skynet. Skynet's gone, right? They've saved
No
the
more.
universe.
Yeah, saved 3 billion people.
They've altered the universe, right? All that fucking hard work. All the hard work. Sarah Connor, she was in an insane asylum for like 10 years. She got her son taken away. She was training for years and years to fight this apocalypse. All that finally paid off. They beat Skynet. But there's still these fucking machines after her. So she's been fighting machines off even after. And that I thought was kind of weird. She was like, they're still being sent from a universe that doesn't exist. Well, who's sending them? Who's giving? I mean, if they've defeated Skynet, who is sending these robots after her?
I don't know how time travel works. That's my
but
problem.
exactly. But there's not. Either do
It's
they.
not a clear-
Either do they.
yeah.
I mean, there's no clear. That's what I'm saying is like she just nonchalantly says, we're still being sent from a universe that never existed. But like, I mean, is this gonna go on forever? Are you never gonna be able to relax?
I don't know. We see that at the very end of the movie where she says, "Prepare for the future."
We see at the very fucking beginning.
Well, in the beginning too, as
when
well.
she I guess they're just thinking, oh, right, we killed a couple, we're good now. I mean, I don't know why they stopped looking over their shoulders, but they got lazy.
They did.
They got lazy, they got
content.
comfortable, exactly. So, the T-800, old Arnold, because remember, they killed the real Arnold, the real good Terminator, and the second one. So now they're just regular ones.
Yep.
Comes in, pops John, and shoots him in the chest with a shotgun.
A few times.
What do you think about the CGI?
Well, I thought Hamilton, I thought she looked really good in that opening scene. That had to have been like a deleted scene or something where she's freaking out in the very beginning of the film.
Oh.
In the thing.
In the...
When she's getting interrogated.
That's from Terminator 2.
Oh, it is?
Judgment Day, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not CGI.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that looked pretty good.
No, yeah, because it goes through flashbacks of her at the insane asylum. It's the same guy. Yeah, that's just from Terminator 2.
Oh, okay. But as far as the beach scene goes,
that's the CGI.
I don't know. I didn't think it looked terrible.
No, it wasn't horrible. It was just obvious CGI, though.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately, which again, I thought this could have been a perfect time to use deepfake.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Furlow. Remember, he was like the big thing. The original John Connor. They said that he was going to be in this one. I guess that's the only use they had him for was just
to kill him in the beginning.
Was just to get his CGI face down. I'm guessing because he's not in it as an adult at all. Because they immediately kill off John. Yeah, and then Arnie, the T-800, he just walks off.
Yeah.
Just says, okay, I'm done here.
Well, Sarah tries to shoot him a couple times, but that obviously doesn't do anything.
No, that was her big defense. She had one gun. She had a pistol.
A pistol.
Yeah,
right.
well, that's going to stop him. And then he just walks off. I thought he was just going to walk straight into the ocean and just walk down. I mean, because his job's done,
Yeah.
What else does he have to do? There was no programming for if he ever succeeded. They had anything written in for him to if he actually. I'm guessing Skynet had zero hope that he was going to ever accomplish that mission because they had no plan for him after at all.
No escape plan to come back to their
or
world.
no, just delete yourself, make sure no one sees. Because if someone has proof that there's a giant robot man after kids, that's going to be a big deterrent for you to not use Skynet.
Right.
But no, I guess they just said, go head off. Go just do whatever you got to do. And because he just walks out onto the beach and starts a draping company.
I know. Do you see the little Q, though, on the phone number? It said 5/12/1980.
Oh, no.
Yeah, 88,
I didn't see that.
I want to say.
That's when he came back or
Yes,
whatever?
yeah.
Yeah, no, I did not see that. But yeah, that's what he goes and does, but we'll get into that later, I guess. 22 years later, after Johnny was just killed off, again, leader of the resistance, now dead.
Yes.
An advanced Terminator called the Rev-9 is sent back to Mexico City to murder Dani Ramos. And Dani, she works with her brother in a high tech car factory.
Yes.
And there's supposed to be some subliminal, I guess, because her job is being taken over by a robot.
Robot, yeah.
I guess that's the first Terminator.
And it's
that
hilarious
screwing
because
things
she's
in.
she's supposed to be 18 in this, and it's played by Natalia Reyes. She's 31 years old.
Yeah, and
She looks young,
She does look
though.
young, but I
Yeah.
was not.
No, I wasn't buying the whole she's a kid thing.
Well, I mean,
I'm
it
like,
was never clear how old she was supposed to be. Like it
Well,
never.
I thought it was because that was like her older brother, and she was still like at the house, and it was still mom and dad.
I thought that was her
thing.
younger brother.
I don't think it was.
See, well, that's what I
Well,
thought.
yeah,
They left
yeah.
it very vague. Was
They
like,
did.
is she was either 18 or 30. I mean, I wasn't sure. But yeah, living with her parents and whatnot, and her dad, and very close, and her brother, who is he's a little playboy. He sings music and stuff. He's fucking chicks. He's got chicks coming in and out of the apartment. We
He
see
does quite a bit.
But yeah, so
Flirting
this
with them right outside too.
yeah, right from his sister.
Yeah,
Why they have to
come
get to
on.
work. And her dad is also, he's like a sick or something. They threw that in there. It's got to be real sad, It's a tug on your heartstrings.
Oh yeah, before they
Yeah.
all meet their ultimate demise.
Before the Rev-9 comes in, and also it doesn't say, but also there's another time portal opened over a bridge
Yes.
that spews out Grace,
Yep.
played by
Mackenzie Davis.
Miss Kinsey Davis, who is amazing. That's
She's
one
great.
thing I loved about it, is all the characters and everything worked really well for me.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I mean, Arnold's part I thought was probably his greatest part since the second one.
I agree with that
I
entirely.
think the comedy
I thought
worked.
it was
Linda
perfect.
Hamilton
The
was
comedy was really funny. My theater was laughing.
oh
out
yeah,
loud
especially
at
at
those
his
moments.
parts.
Yes.
When he was on screen and
And it wasn't like corny, like "I'll see you next freeze," like the Batman shit. It was like this was actually funny stuff.
oh
It was
yeah,
good
and they
writing
left
with
and they
the
didn't
jokes.
push too much of the old stuff. They did have an I'll be back.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I wish they didn't.
yeah. But the way that Linda played that off, because she had a problem with that initially, she didn't want to do that.
Yeah, and I heard Tim Miller didn't want to do it either, and that's definitely a higher up
Exactly.
exec move.
Yep.
Like people are gonna love this shit. They loved it back then. They're gonna love it now. That's such a guy that knows nothing about filmmaking or anything. Something would say.
Some
but,
guy in a
but
suit.
they put it in there. But they put it in there no
course they
matter
did.
what. But yeah, that's one thing that worked really well for me is all the characters and everything. I thought Linda Hamilton just went right back into being a badass.
And dude, was she a badass? In
Oh
this?
yeah, dude.
I guess Tim Miller had to tell her to quit smiling every time because she was shooting guns while
Yeah.
they were filming, and she was just having so much fun. He's like, "Hey, you got to quit smiling."
Well, I know that
Sarah Connor
I know
doesn't
James
smile.
Cameron had her do like a ton of like arms training and stuff for Terminator 2, so she really did know all
Oh,
that
she knows
shit.
her stuff too.
But I'm sure she hasn't done any of that stuff since Terminator 2. So to get back in that role, I'm sure she'd just like ride a bike again. She's just probably loading fucking Mac 9s, doing
Oh,
whatever. Yeah. Bazookas, but yeah, I thought she did really good. And I thought the grown woman who played Dani, I thought she did a good job too. Like, what was her name in this?
Yeah, Natalia Reyes.
Yeah, she did a pretty good job too. And the big part for me is the Rev-9. I thought the guy who played the Rev-9 had very similar mannerisms to the T-1000
Yes.
and T2. I thought
I
he did
totally
a very
agree with
good
that,
job.
yeah.
Although he was a little better with people.
I would say a little better with people. Yeah, a little more sociable.
They definitely added that in a little more in the programming. Was like, you got to try to act not like a robot. Because Arnold did not, I mean, he didn't act human at all. He couldn't. He was just not capable of it. The T-1000 did a little bit, but now the Rev-9, he can almost joke with you.
Well, and that's
But he's
what
not
he does
stabbing
too.
you to death.
Yeah, exactly. But that's because we also find out that he can touch someone. It kills them inevitably when he touches them, but he can transform into them. He's a shapeshifter.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't kill him by just touching him. He just doesn't have any
No,
use
but
for him.
yeah.
So there, he would have no reason to keep them alive. I mean, for any other. Yeah, and that's what he does. He goes to Danny's house, and he asks, "Is Daniela home?" And his dad immediately.
I'm a friend of Daniela, and he goes, "Well, that's weird because all of her friends call her Danny." He goes, "Oh, they do."
And I would never have offered that information
Not
up
very
randomly to a
wise.
stranger.
No.
Now
Not to
this
some
guy
guy
can
knocking at your
obviously
door.
kill me now. Yeah.
And now he knows what my daughter goes by. Not thinking that through, Pops.
As a personal name now, he knows. But whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the
Screw the
Rev-9. Yeah, he takes out old Danny Senior. I don't know what his name was. Old Poppy or
Old Poppy, yeah. I don't know what his name was
Big
either.
Poppy. But and then the Rev-9 goes and tries to find them at work, and this is when Mackenzie Davis's Grace comes in. Well, first she drops from the bridge, right? And she steals. It's another classic. She's naked, of course. She's got to steal clothing.
Couples making out on top of the car. The girl runs over. They try to help her.
There's always some just random
hookup taking place.
Either a gang of guys, or it's always so fucking lucky. Like
they're always just hanging out at a bridge, and
they're always very similarly built.
Yeah.
To the whatever comes out of that fucking orb. They're always, but I like she did the boot thing like Arnold did, and that's never a good sign when you see someone naked and he starts putting your foot up to your boot.
Yeah, not a good idea. No.
You know he's measuring up for something, but yeah, so she takes their clothing, of course, so she can't be naked the entire time. Unfortunately, she is. She's a looker. Even though she's got that stupid fucking bowl cut.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
I didn't understand. Is that because in the future they don't have barbers, so you got to cut your own hair?
Right, you got to cut your own hair.
The bowl cut is obviously the easiest.
I think it's like to kind of show the audience that she's like a warrior or something.
I think it was to show that she was non-binary.
Oh, okay.
Because this movie, I don't know if you felt it, but it was pushing the PC for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, the ending too,
a little
where
Disney-esque in my opinion, a little too much. And what's something that bothered me actually was how the big whole PC thing was like, was her saying, "Oh, she's not gonna have this son."
Right,
you're gonna be
actually the leader,
which is such horseshit because Linda Hamilton was like
a badass,
a force for women.
Exactly.
She was like the one sci-fi besides like Ripley from Alien.
Yeah.
She was such a good image for like women. She's so powerful and everything. And now
I thought it kind of undercut her.
It absolutely,
you know what I mean? Like
that's what this movie did a lot. Because if you're a really big Terminator fan, I feel like you're gonna like this movie a lot less. If you're just a fan of movies, I feel like you're gonna like this movie. But I felt it undercut a lot of what Terminator built before it.
Yeah,
with the whole Skynet thing, and with how Linda Hamilton went through all that to defeat Skynet, and there's a new company anyways. It meant nothing.
Legion, and then that's it. That's all we know. But
yeah, and Linda Hamilton, she's not even mad about it. She's like, I guess we'll keep going. We'll keep rocking. Like her son died to stop this Skynet from happening. She stopped it, and now no matter what, Legion's gonna pop up no matter what.
Yeah.
It kind of deflates everything that happened.
Right.
Which kind of bothered me for sure. But Linda Hamilton didn't seem to have a problem with it.
She didn't care. No.
As long as she was killing Terminators.
I think she was happy.
Or I shouldn't say Linda Hamilton. I should say Sarah Connor. Sarah
Yeah.
Connor didn't have a problem with it at all. Because she loves killing fucking Terminators.
She does.
That's
She
what
was
we find
having a
out
good
she's
time.
been doing for the last...
her whole, because she's getting messages from an unknown source, text messages that say for John at the end of every
one of
single
them says for John.
Yeah.
Yep. And the text is coordinates,
yes.
telling her, they just tell her where to go, where Terminator, because the Terminators are still just flooding in from God knows where.
Which, did it elaborate on that? Because I was a little confused as to how the T-800 knew that these Legion robots were coming in when he's Skynet.
It did. I thought explain it.
I thought it did too in some way. I just can't remember.
It was like some wacky
vague.
fucking like science. I can't remember. It was like somehow because Skynet and Legion know nothing about each other.
No,
that was the
don't.
big thing. Is they're completely not connected as far as this movie tells us. In a sequel, they might tell us that they're related in some way. But some random fucking coincidence, some other completely different company made an exact same AI. To the point where even their Terminators, they made Terminators still. Well, they're called Rev-9s or whatever. Even to where the Terminators look exactly like the Skynet Terminators. You know, same exoskeleton and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that happens.
I know.
What are the odds? That seems wild to
Pretty
me.
insane.
But so he's been, I don't know, but somehow or someone, whoever is texting her has been getting these coordinates also. But, it wasn't for, she wasn't hunting Legion Terminators. She was only hunting Skynet Terminators when they were coming back.
But how is that so when she got the coordinates for the Legion one chasing after...
On the road, but yeah, I can't remember how,
See, that's what didn't make any sense to me because
again,
that's a
I thought it was
Legion
really lazy writing
Yeah.
because, like, yeah, again, how Linda Hamilton just find them on that random.
Well, normally we would pick up on something like that if the story was clear cut and concise.
Oh yeah, for
but
sure.
For whatever reason, I'm not putting those two together, unless I just completely missed something.
No, because you're right. Because he did know. Because that was the whole thing. Was she knew to be on that bridge because he texted her that.
Right.
But yeah, I don't. Well, yeah, I have no idea. But anyways, so the Rev-9 goes to Danny's workplace. A big fight breaks out. It's a big action sequence. Mackenzie Davis' character Grace comes in. She's a badass. She's not a real robot. She's a fucking half robot, half not. She's still human, she claims. But she's enhanced, is what they say.
Yes. It's kind of like a hybrid, kind of like a cyborg. In a way. Like
but she is a
futuristic
badass.
cyborg.
And the action sequences that's one thing Tim Miller knows how to do for sure, is an action sequence. Because when she was using that sledgehammer, it was fucking amazing.
It was awesome. That was cool.
And the sturdiness of that sledgehammer, let me tell you, how'd that thing not break?
Tough. It's American made.
It's got to be. Although it was in Mexico.
It was in Mexico. Still.
It's not from China. That's
not
for
from China,
damn sure. Because
no.
that thing would have broke on impact.
No, and it would have had to be censored.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah. So eventually they end up getting away, leaving the Rev-9 with Mackenzie Davis' character, and they find out that Mackenzie Davis' character, for some fucking reason, she gets really, really tired because her metabolism is really. Because it works like overtime. So she's only good for like a 30-second fight.
Okay. And you know what? We were right on this because I just looked this information up because they asked Miller about that very question that we had. And because it went by so fast that a lot of people didn't pick that up. And I guess there was a lot more to the scene with longer pieces that actually explained a cell phone app better.
Really?
Yeah. And so they kind of just glanced.
And that's another
over
thing I feel like is they cut. There's some scenes that seem like they're missing something. Mm-hmm. Some scenes they seem like they cut out something, for sure. Like I thought that, especially the scene with the army guy that ends up helping them out later. You know, the black guy that comes in later. I thought for sure that guy.
There had to have been more to that too. I was like, is this a reference from T2 or Terminator that I'm not familiar with?
Whatever his name, Carl Dyson's son, the black guy who's in head of who they killed. I thought that had to have been for sure one of his sons. Because remember, he's like comes in, he's like, I don't just commit treason
for anybody.
Well,
it's
why?
Like, well, why are you committing treason then?
Why are you committing the highest act of fucking treason, and then for no reason though? It never got in. I thought for sure we were going to see Dyson or something. Like he had to have been, but no, never.
No, nothing. And so okay, so we're not crazy.
No,
because other people had that same question.
Yeah,
it was just glanced over, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So this T-800 just knows from the future. Doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Maybe because he's just I don't know, and he's not like he's connecting into like the government hard drive or anything. I mean, he's doing drapes. Yeah. So he's like, So they end up breaking out. Eventually the fight leads to the bridge like we talked about. Linda Hamilton, she intercepts. She ends up kicking the ass of the Rev-9. The Rev-9 we end up finding out is like he's a combination of like a T-1000 and a T-800. He can split into two.
Yeah, for like an endoskeleton or whatever.
One completely liquid metal,
Yep.
and then one completely metal. So it's a combination, like genius, you know.
It is genius design.
But so she ends up fighting them off, and they end up getting away. And that's how Linda Hamilton, because Linda Hamilton hates robots, so she's really scared about Mackenzie Davis' character. Mm-hmm. And they end up having to go to a hospital. Or they go to the hospital to get
to get the
they hold up with a gun, and then they go to a hotel, and she gets injected with like potassium nitrate
the
worst
or something.
fucking robot of all time.
Yeah.
The argument is if you don't kill a Rev-9 in like 30 seconds, you're dead anyways. Mm-hmm. Which
she said she was only built for short bursts.
Yeah,
that's why she kept having.
Maybe you were built for longer bursts. You'd be able to kill
more things.
or
You would've fixed that part.
be able to hold your own longer than 30 seconds in a fight. Maybe you last a minute at least, and then you can at least do a little more damage. But yeah, that's the whole reason. And I never get the sense that they could, or what they talk about is the Rev-9s are indestructible.
They are.
Right? I don't think anyone has been able
No
to
one has
kill them.
ever.
Yeah, and I can tell because they
do not break. Very well made.
It was cool though. That bridge scene was awesome as well. That action scene was really really well done, especially when Linda Hamilton hit the robot with her fucking van or whatever. That was awesome.
Yeah, that Jeep looking thing. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, and came out with the shotgun. My audience was clapping at that. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, when she popped out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they fucking loved it. But yeah, she's explaining all that and how
she's
Skynet.
pretty bold too, because she just walks down the bridge after the.
Yeah, and you throw that shotgun down after like 8 shots.
I know. I was like,
I think it had a drum on it. It had like 80 more shots.
It did at least. Not very,
Keep that. That's a great weapon.
It is.
Keep that thing. And then she gets out that little tiny shotgun that John was killed with. And that thing's like it's a pump shotgun.
Yeah, it's a sawed-off shotgun.
This is a robot from 1,000 years in the future. What do you?
You
got a trench gun you're using from World War One? I mean, come on. This is. But yeah, and she ends up and the blowing the one up too with the grenade launcher was awesome.
Yes, it was.
That was pretty cool, and I liked how they did a callback of a chase scene. You know, every Terminator's got to have a chase scene, and they did one where he was in the semi, and for some reason every fucking Terminator they always pick the worst. They always pick the shitty truck to get in. That maxes out like 65 miles an hour.
Well,
it's a classic trope.
It is.
It's a classic.
It really
that I'm
is.
not sure they. I mean, because what are the odds of that? Come on. And then the fucking Rev-9 or the T-1000, he always gets the
like a
great
giant semi. Yeah.
That goes 120
I know.
easily
Like,
on the front.
what is this semi guy just really into semi trucks? Just puts turbos and shit.
It wasn't that
into
he had a
this?
bulldozer,
Or
and
a
that thing was
bulldozer.
going
Yeah,
90
that's right.
miles
That's
an
what
hour.
it was.
Like,
Yeah.
why would that thing ever need to go past 50?
It shouldn't.
I don't
like
think they're
how
allowed
it's
on the
just plowing
freeway.
Cars too, just the cars just flipping out.
That
of
was
it.
cool. Him going through the factory wall was awesome because
That was cool.
It reminded me a lot of the T2, or Terminator 2, Judgment Day, But yeah, and Mackenzie Davis basically says the exact same shit. Legion went online. They shut everything down immediately. They did it a little differently. I guess they didn't send nukes off immediately.
Not immediately, but they did.
First
inevitably.
humans nuked Legion with
in
EMPs.
hopes that it was going to destroy it.
Did nothing.
No,
And that turned all the power off also.
it did.
Which also hurt the humans later on.
Very much so.
Because she said the worst thing was not the nukes, but everyone starved to death.
and then they
Which
were
if you had
killing each
power,
other.
yeah, and then they started killing each other, which is what Cyberdyne or Skynet or Legion always intended and wanted. But yeah, she says basically the same shit happened. And then Linda Hampton or Sarah Connors just goes, oh, okay.
Fair enough. I've heard this one too many times before.
You had me at AI. Don't say no more. I'm on board. I'll kill whatever you need me to kill.
Where do I sign?
And Mackenzie Davis, though, she's got this tattoo on her.
Yes, on the right side of her pelvis. That's literally just coordinates.
It's just coordinates.
Yep.
It's just a big fucking
Red
latitude and
line.
longitude. And and then that comes at play like an hour and a half into the movie.
It does.
Like she's like, if I needed help, you needed help a long time ago.
You should have.
You should have immediately went to him.
Yeah.
But she says go to these coordinates, and then Linda Hamilton goes, "Oh my god,
I have those coordinates.
get the fuck out of here! What
No
are the
way.
odds of that?
Are we sisters?
Or did we just become best friends?
Yep.
No, not the case. They fucking
No,
hate each
they
other
hate
in
each
this
other.
movie.
They do.
They hate, which is understandable. You know, Linda Hamilton does. I don't think Linda Hamilton even uses a microwave at this point.
Would you say Linda Hamilton's a little racist towards robots?
Oh,
Or AI?
yeah.
Yeah, I'd say
The way
so.
she didn't even use that cell phone with
Yeah.
a chip bag, she wouldn't even be in the same room.
The chip.
You gotta think she doesn't even like she sees one of those robot dogs. Remember the really popular in
Yep.
2003?
Yep.
She's
Man, I
pissed
thought
off.
that was the future when I was a little kid. I was like, oh my God, I got a robot dog.
You gotta think like even one of the eye vacuum things. She's like, get that
like,
fucking
yeah.
thing away from me. You
Kicking it. First time it hits her
Just
foot.
flipping it
she
over
just
like a
crushes
turtle,
it,
'cause
Yeah. Try to get
Oh
me
yeah,
out.
man. She hates anything. Anything. I'm surprised she's using a car. Of course, she didn't use a car post 2000. So, she's keeping away from those computer systems.
Right.
She's using an analog.
There's no Tesla in her future.
Never. But, so they say, and the coordinates are in Laredo, Texas, which is so fucking convenient because that's like 80 miles away.
It is a long ways.
You got to cross that border, though.
Right.
And they get on some crazy... This is the caravan that Trump was talking about. The fucking train.
The train.
Like, where is this train coming from? Like, what railroad are they allowing to go?
Yeah, I know. Just people at
There's
the border.
1,000 people
let 'em
hanging
through. It reminds me of those old pictures. You ever see those like in the 1920s when people were migrating?
Oh, yeah.
There's like 1,000 people on the
or
train
in like
cars.
India, they still do that
Yeah, they
shit
still
where
do
they
that,
pile on like
yes.
10,000 people,
Yeah.
but not in like,
No.
I mean, you're not getting 1,000 people just cruising over some like private railroad, I'm
I
guessing.
don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not very difficult because Danny has a uncle that
Is a gringo
he's a coyote.
or coyote? Excuse
Yeah,
me.
he's not a gringo. That means he's white.
Right. No, I'm sorry. Okay, remember they called her a gringo.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she got on there, she goes, "Well, yeah, I wish I wasn't with a bunch of gringos."
Yes.
That's
yeah.
what I meant.
Yeah.
So got a little confused there. Yes, but he is a coyote. Yeah.
Yeah, he is a coyote. He brings people across, and he's one of those good coyotes.
Yeah, he
they
is.
make that clear.
Yeah, they do.
He's not gonna like sell you out or anything.
Or,
He's gonna make sure you get across. He's gonna get you a job. He's gonna tuck
gonna
you
do
in at
everything he
night. He's one of
promises,
those
yeah.
good coyotes. He's gonna get you that green card, and he's gonna do everything he needs. But yeah, they made that abundantly clear that he was one of the good ones.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Which again, they're trying to PC it up with.
They
I don't
really
know.
are.
But yeah, so they get him across, and it's pretty easy until fucking the Rev-9 breaks into the system and rats him
He
out.
just kills everyone.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
first he
what a
rats him out the
snake.
board.
Yeah,
fucking
he does.
You asshole. Obviously Republican.
He's absolutely a Republican.
Does not like those illegal
Does
immigrants. He
not,
said,
no.
cage
The
him up.
Rev-9,
Yeah,
get
and I like that because they go and they take him into a fucking whatever they call them now. They made it clear they don't call it jails. I
no,
like that.
what is it called? Detention centers. Yes.
Because remember the Rev-9 comes in, he's like, "What cell are they in?" Or something. He's like,
He's
"Not
like,
cells."
"Whoa, this is not a cell. It's a detention.
And even the
center."
Rev-9 was like, "Okay,
Okay,
yeah,
but,
I'm an asshole and I'm from the future and we committed genocide, but this is not right." Yeah, it's like-
We know putting
These are
people
cells.
in
These are
cages
cages.
is just not good. It's not good.
I like that was funny, but again, it was really on the nose.
It was on the nose.
It was
yeah.
very on the nose of that, and but yeah, they take him to fucking. Well, first he tries to drop a drone on him, and I guess no one thinks that's too wild because they don't even bring it up ever again.
Never, not one time.
Like,
No
guys,
one time. And this thing
Now,
can take
anyone
care of
else?
everything.
They don't, they
You
just
see
leave.
that? Yeah.
they just take off. You think everything would be like red alert or like what's going
You'd
on?
almost be
here?
like, "Is this a terrorist attack?" kind of thing. You'd be frightened.
Yeah.
They just didn't even bat an eye at that either.
No, because he killed all the people in the drone room. So I'm like, if they would have known, they probably would have like blocked this whole thing down.
Yeah.
Because I can't let anyone in or out. Not the case because he goes directly to the detention center, and he breaks in there because they're all separated now, and Sarah Connor and Danny and Grace, they're all in separate cells.
Yep.
Well, Grace, she got the shit kicked out of her again because of the drone. So she's out of it. She's got to have the shots, the potassium. So the doctors are trying to like figure what she's, and then of course it's classic because they can't. She's a robot, she's got robot skin, so they're kind of.
They're like, "What the hell
They
is
take
this?"
samples, do whatever doctors do, and she gets out of there eventually, and
Well, because she plays possum, kind of.
and just beats the shit out. She loves slamming heads in the walls.
And
That's
every
something I
time there were-
appreciated.
there were black marks
Yep,
every time
exactly.
on the walls.
Marks or even caved in.
Yep.
Like that's something that would happen when you're slamming someone's head
Yes.
extremely, and you're a 400-pound fucking cyborg that
That
can
would
crush
definitely
someone's.
happen.
Yeah, I like that. I like those little details. Tim Miller is good at that. But yeah, so they eventually chaos ensues because. Well, also something I liked is the government has been after Sarah Connor for like 30 years.
She's
On the #1 most wanted list.
in a few states.
Well, 50 states.
50 states, yeah.
And probably a few different countries as well.
Yeah,
I assume,
probably.
yeah. But yeah, I like that immediately because that was realistic to me. Because as soon as she gets caught, some guy comes in and takes her like to her own private room. Because she's a big deal, you know. She's like El Chapo. You gotta put them in their own room.
You do.
And he says you get your own. I think he says you get their own. You get your own cage. Which again, they're not cages.
Not cages.
They are luxury rooms, rooms in a detention center.
There's TVs,
very comfortable.
In a foil
they have
blanket.
Those cool foil blankets that keep you so warm.
Come on,
the astronauts use
they're
those.
effective. Yeah, so you know they work.
If we're sending them to our boys in space, then we're doing pretty good down here. I think we're doing all right. But yeah, so they all get separated, which Grace told Sarah Connor don't get separated. You know, if I get separated, don't leave.
Don't leave her.
Again, goes to shit. Rev-9 comes in, and it's cool. He's got checking his weapon, and he says something cool like, "My whole body's a weapon." And he of course the thing goes off.
He starts slaying.
Well, first he gets away with it. He lies to the guy, says he had a hip replacement, and
that's right. And
that's something a T-800 would have never have done.
Never.
He
would have just
everyone
walked through,
dead.
probably grabbed a throat, ripped it out, and just walked.
That's something that's high tech. That's a Legion AI. That's a little better than this kind of,
man. I mean, smarter, more sophisticated AI.
Yeah, and the guy just says, "Hey, fuck it, you're good.
Cool, man. Thanks for your
I
service.
don't even want to search you." Yeah,
No.
He says, "Thanks for your service. Get in there with all those kids and everyone." And anyways, yeah, a quick search would have been easy, simple. One of the wands.
But again, he probably would have died had he done.
Well, yeah, he would have just killed him.
he kind of saved his own life.
But he would have been doing his job on the way out because I'm sure that guy didn't make it out.
No, it didn't look like very many of them made it out.
Because he goes and he gets immediately. What happens? Mackenzie Davis, she breaks out and she sets the alarm off, whatnot. So everything's going crazy.
Chaos.
Everything's going crazy. He's looking for. He gets close to finding. Dani, but someone gets in his way, so he has to end up killing everyone. And then everyone knows that.
Does he kill everyone?
He does. Very efficient. It was so cool. I thought when he was running on all fours, though, when he jumps up into the cage, that was super cool. But yeah, he slaughters everyone. He's like a human pincushion. At one point, they're all jumping on him. Again, no one's taking shots.
No one.
Put this guy down. He's got swords for hands.
Yeah, how many people does it take before you got to start shooting a guy? So unrealistic.
But yeah, so he ends up killing everyone. And Mackenzie Davis ends up coming in and freeing everyone. Not just Dani, but the entire fucking everyone. And now we got more Americans for it.
Yeah, we do.
A lot more Americans.
Probably about 1,000.
Yeah. Because, But she, not very time efficient. You think if she was a robot and calculating, she would have went right for Dani. But again, you might as well free everyone on the way. On your way there.
Might as well do the right thing.
Pop a couple locks. Why not? And but they end up getting away. She ends up stealing a helicopter, and they barely leave with Linda Hamilton. They just
and Dani tries to be the hero and shoots the 9 at the Rev-9.
Yeah, she takes like 8 shots and hits 1.
I was like, come on,
because she hasn't been trained.
Just get in the helicopter.
She's popping. Yeah. And that's another thing I didn't like is the transition was so fast from like being so scared to her being just like
a badass.
Yeah. It happened so quick. There was not very much development.
Well, it happened within like a one instance kind of thing where it was like she was taking shots, like practicing, and then she goes, imagine that watermelon just killed your family. And then she just shoots all 3 of them.
And her brother died. We didn't mention that. He was killed by the Rev-9. Her dad died. So she was absolutely devastated. But she goes from just devastated to like just a hero, willing to risk it all. Right. Willing to risk. She knows she's the one. She's willing to risk it for fucking Sarah Connor. It's very brave of her to think that she could take on this Rev-9 on her own with a pistol. Yeah. That she was. But I guess she is the hero, But, so they get away in the helicopter. They just land a fucking helicopter in Laredo, where the signal's coming from. Mm-hmm. And this is another this is what everyone was talking about. Is apparently Laredo, Texas, very flat and desert-like. And in this one, he lives in a fucking forest.
And it is a forest. It looks like it's an isolated forest.
I just saw people on Reddit from Laredo were like, what Laredo was this? Because apparently Laredo is just flat desert. And it's like mountains, and it's very nice. But
I wonder why they chose Laredo then.
Just because it was close to the Mexican border. Not like they actually went and shot in Laredo.
Well, no, I know that, but I mean, you figure you would have done a little homework on a $2 million budget.
A $2 million?
200 million.
Yeah. No, again, man, that's why that was my big complaint. It was lazy writing.
Yeah.
You could tell that for sure. But it was just writing to get us to the next action scene, which sucks because that's not really what Terminators ever were.
No,
but that's what every Terminator since Terminator 2 has been. So it's still kind of followed into that one. But yeah, they go and there's this cabin in the fucking woods, and who's in the cabin? Who comes out?
Arnold Schwarzenegger himself, or that T-800, whatever.
Yeah,
the one that killed John.
It's
Connor.
him because I guess it's basically the same one from T2.
Yeah, they're all the same.
But it's again that doesn't make sense because at one point remember he looks for the glasses.
Mm-hmm.
He would have no recollection of the glasses at all because he's not the same robot.
No. And I really thought he was going to put those glasses on, and he never did.
No, he never did.
I was like, come on, don't tease us.
That was the
like
one thing that they did. But again, he would know nothing about any of the other previous, like anything he learned. Like he wouldn't know I'll be back because that's all things John taught him.
Exactly.
But he does know all these things already.
Yeah. So again, timeline, a little
wacky, doesn't make any sense. No. But yeah, he comes out and his name is Carl now.
Carl the Draper.
Yeah, and the guy, he does drapes. And fucking weird to me was the decision to give him a family. Yeah,
I didn't hate that idea. Because
can you imagine?
He didn't have a purpose.
Well, let's explain it. He killed John Connor.
Yep.
And then he just wandered off. Just started walking.
Mm-hmm. Because then his job was done. He didn't have any other missions or anything, so he had nothing to exist for.
Yeah, and then he just eventually humanity, I guess, won him over, and he found out he figured out his error of his ways. He felt bad for John after, and he was the one that ended up sending all the text for John. He got a family. He started a draping business. It just goes against everything that a Terminator is. Like, you're not supposed to be able to reason with them. You're not supposed to do anything. They're not supposed to be able to think in that way. But in this fucking wacky edition, he just changed. Like, I would think if he's a robot, he would just went and maybe just sat in a corner for a long time.
Yeah.
And powered off even.
Yeah.
His mission's over.
Right.
Why would he keep on living?
Yeah, it's not like he has a soul anyway, so it's like, does he care?
Yeah, it's not like he went and be like, well, job's done. I get to relax now. I'm going to go hang out. I'm going to figure out what all this is.
Pull out my 401k, my retirement. I mean, yeah. I've served.
It's not what a robot would do.
No.
It doesn't make any sense. But he did. He got a family, and he got a wife. And the wife was abused, so she liked that he was very gentle, I guess. And they never fuck.
Never.
Can you imagine marrying Mr. Universe, arguably one of the greatest looking men in the 90s?
Yes.
This is when it took place because he killed John, what?
2 years after, so 2000.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah. He's built like he's built like a robot.
Yeah.
Because he is a robot. And you're not fucking just jumping on this guy? Are you kidding me?
It's gotta suck.
What's the reasoning?
I don't know.
What could be the reasoning? This wife just... I mean, she's not having sex for 20 years?
Maybe she's abstinent. She was in such an abusive relationship. She said, I never want it.
Some fucking... I mean...
It would have been wild.
Eventually, though, that's all about healing. It's about being able to allow someone else.
Well, and what's fascinating about that is for all the things that T-800 can do, you're trying to tell me that he can't manipulate himself 6-7 inches?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. For sure they built. I mean, they had to have, we know he has a dick. We saw him naked.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we know. Yeah. In Terminator 1, they show full on. He's got a dick. Mm-hmm. So I guarantee he can use. I mean, obviously he has no reason to.
No.
But I mean, for this reason,
her.
Why did they add that in?
I don't know. Again,
I think it was to be like PC, like maybe because he's a machine and like she couldn't just be fucking this machine all the time.
You know what I think it could have been? Because we did the whole Sarah Connor thing where we all thought, whatever, quote unquote, we all thought, quote, that Dani was going to birth the child of the next great general or the great leader of the resistance. And maybe they set it up as to have Arnold's son and her get together. Because she did give him a little look at one point when they were hugging over there. And my thought initially was like, okay, if they do end up going that route, that's what they're going to do. Those two are going to have
But they didn't know anything about him or anything.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
No.
So, I mean, they could
But
never...
they don't have to know anything for two kids to fall in love.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're thinking...
Arnold's kid and then her.
Oh.
Yeah.
That'd be wild.
It would be
I mean, what would be the odds of that? I'm sure Arnold's kids probably just... him or his wife and the kid probably just died when the robots took over. Unfortunately,
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I doubt they. What are the odds that they survived?
Slim to
Because
none.
it's like a what? I mean, what like 10% of the population is left, maybe. So
Well,
I mean,
if that.
yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. But yeah. So I thought that was a odd choice to make it clear that there's no physical attraction at all, and that'd be weird because it's not his son. Obviously, he adopted this son, but like to never see your mom and dad like kiss or anything, it worries a kid. I mean, you got to be worried.
Yeah,
No
you do.
physical affection at all.
At
like,
all.
is this hollow marriage? Like they have like, are you guys gonna get divorced? Like, what's going on? But he is very funny during the scene because he does do drapes and he explains why people like him. He says he's nice, he's caring because he is to be honest, he's the perfect man.
He is the perfect man, yeah.
He goes to work every day, doesn't complain. Always
about anything.
He can
Great
take the
listener.
groceries in one haul every time.
Every time.
Every time.
This man could put 15 bags on each arm, no problem.
He can put fucking 800
Yeah, I
and carry the car in. Yeah. And they explain, and she even says, she's like, oh, what? She never realized you're 400 pounds? Like, that's like something that's never come up or at all.
No.
Like, he's never just sat on a chair and completely shattered
Broke it, yeah.
But no, this wife asks 0 questions.
Well,
apparently.
it kind of reminds me of the famous wives back in the 70s and 80s when they were married to serial killers and
Yeah,
they just
unhealthy.
never ask any
It's
questions.
very
They're
unhealthy.
just like, yeah, it's fine.
That was my initial thought
Yeah.
too. Was like, oh, he's a serial killer.
Yep.
Like, because I mean, if you haven't seen any Terminator, he's a straight up. He's got a secret fucking shed
Mm-hmm.
out in the middle of nowhere, no physical connection to you at all, and that he seems like he's absolutely like gone
And he
behind
goes,
the eyes.
Yeah, and he goes to work for 8 hours a day doing drapes.
He doesn't smell. He doesn't have body odor. And he's jacked, and you've never seen him lift a weight in your life. But he's constantly fucking ripped, and he's 72 years old.
Yeah.
And not a single question
Not a
popped up in his
question
wife.
being raised.
Not only that, but he prefers you live out in the middle of fucking
Nowhere.
nowhere in Laredo, Texas.
I'd be a
This
little
man
worried.
is killing kids.
He is. He's
He has 15
killing them
kids.
at an alarming rate, my friend.
He has kids under your house, and they are dead. And you have to call the cops because this man is a murderer.
He is. He deserves his justice.
Maybe she's just thinking, oh, maybe he's just a robot.
Maybe
Maybe that's like
whole
the
time
best
she actually
case
did,
scenario
yeah.
in her head is like, oh, maybe he's just a fucking robot and he's not killing people. But
She would have been right.
oh yeah, but the alarm's got to go off for sure
Yes.
because he's an odd man.
There's a
to
lot
be
of red
around.
flags.
And he's obviously probably can't ever have a real connection with your son.
Never.
He said he can't love because he makes that clear also. But yeah, he does drapes and he's got a great sense of humor. He says that too, and I thought that was very funny because his very dry. Because he's a robot, but it's Arnold's delivery for that is.
It's
And
pretty
I
good.
have a great sense of humor, and he doesn't say it no deadpan, but I like that. And another joke that I thought was hilarious was when he was talking about drapes later on when they're at like the warehouse. He's like, I was telling the guy, you gotta have polka dots, you gotta have rainbows, you gotta have unicorns on your daughters. You can't just have plain drapes. He got so into it at one point, but
Oh, the man loves drapes.
well, he
His
loves drapes.
T-800 loves
well,
drapes.
it's Carl's drapes.
It is.
You got to put your name on the van. You better
gotta
do
be
good
proud of
fucking
it,
drapes. And but yeah, he does drapes, and that's the whole thing. And they train Dani in this. We get a little scenario where she shoots one gun, and now she's fucking
A
proficient.
badass.
Yeah. And Arnold sends off his wife. Another red flag that should pop up as a wife. Oh,
And he told her that his future is caught up, or excuse me, his past is caught up to him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh.
And he told her at one point that he was just gonna have to leave and not say anything.
No
this is
questions.
serial killer handbook. Are you kidding me?
He's checking off every box right now.
If you gotta constantly move cities and no one's like, and you have no reason why or anything, and then or one day someone just disappeared. I mean, this is, and he tells you at one point, like, this sounds like he's saying at one point the cops are gonna come.
Yeah. One point.
We're just gonna make that
We're
clear.
never gonna be together again.
At one point, and I'm just gonna have to leave you and never come back. And she was just like,
Well, I'll enjoy my time while it lasts.
it's wild. But he sends him off.
Yep.
Gives him a pat on the head, a quick hug.
A little hair shuffle.
Yeah, probably just
for the old
fucking
son.
dug that his hand.
Scalped
Dad,
his
you're
own
hurting
son.
me, yeah.
Oh, let me go, Dad.
You hug his cold metal frame for the last time. It must have been such a heartwarming. I mean, they probably had no connection to him.
No,
Like,
they
okay,
didn't.
well, that's Carl. We had a good run, I guess. But yeah, they go and they have to pick up another weapon because the only thing that will kill this R9 is an EMP.
Yep.
Luckily, Linda Hamilton, again, she's got
Just
a
know
guy.
some high up places.
Oh, you got to be
people
high
in
up.
high up places.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, to
fucking
grab
your
an
hands
EMP like that. Yeah, you did.
And you're walking out of the base,
yeah,
no problem.
You're not some private.
No,
walking
you're
in,
not no, absolutely not. But yeah, he just did it. He committed the highest form of treason. Again, if he was caught, he would be hung by the neck until dead.
He'd probably die instantly, but yes.
But he was willing
nonetheless.
for reasons unknown to us to
Yeah.
risk this.
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause,
what?
Again, nothing.
Yeah, because he has to have been. Because what other reasoning did she just come up to him in a bar one day? It's like, I got a story you're gonna fucking want to hear, and you're gonna have to help me a bit.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's no other reason for him to believe this crazy old lady about robots.
No.
There's no reason to. But eventually, she does get the fucking EMP, and the Rev-9 does end up coming in. And I thought he was just gonna crash the helicopter into the building. Seemed like the best option for him.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he was smart on this one. He had to keep the helicopter around. So they go, they attack the private that ends up getting shot for his fucking duties against his country. Yeah. And they end up having to going to the base, and they end up having to get onto a plane.
Yep.
And that's the big action scene. That's our Fast and the Furious action scene.
I gotta say, I like majority of the action scenes in this movie.
Oh, yeah, they did.
I thought they did a really good job with those.
They were, yeah. I'm trying to be facetious, but yeah, the action scenes were awesome. This plane was awesome, and when Arnold's starting to fight the Rev-9, it was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
because you feel like the weight behind him. You know, you feel like he is an actual fucking robot because he's damn close in real life. But yeah, and they end up fighting. They end up going into the air, and then a fight ensues in the air. And I guess they end up falling the Hoover Dam.
yeah. I think that's. I don't know what the hell that was.
Very convenient again.
Yes.
Very convenient. They just didn't land in the desert. That's 80% of that area. But they end up landing in. I guess it's got to be the Hoover Dam, right?
I don't.
What
know.
other? I mean, do they have dams that big in other places?
I don't know.
They end up.
Don't ask me that question.
Well, they end up crashing in a very big dam.
They did, nonetheless.
But unfortunately, the EMP gets destroyed.
It does in the shootout.
The shootout.
Yep.
And you can't do anything. They're on the ground now. Mackenzie Davis' character is, she's running slow again because the metabolism. She's got to have like a banana or something. You got to give her.
You got to have bananas on hand
because she can run a solid block around the block as quick as it's 30 seconds because that's all she's got. But she's done after that. She's like the worst fighter of all time. You wouldn't want her fighting in any scenario. A
Never.
boxing match, in anything. If you can't go past the first round, you're no good. But so she's very tired. And Arnold's character we think is dead at this point because he took a big fall from the plane. And he only has one arm now.
Yep. Well, because the Rev-9 ripped it off underwater.
Yep. Because they
had
a cool underwater fight.
Yeah, you know what I thought when he ripped the arm off? I was like, oh, he's going to use that to transform into Arnold. That's what I thought.
But he's the worst robot. Why would you downgrade?
Well, to trick them.
Oh yeah,
when
I don't
he
know.
did
I'm not
back.
sure if he could.
Yeah, I think
he's
it's
not
only
human. So
humans he
I
can
think
shapeshift
because I think
to.
you have to take like a sample of their blood or something.
Yeah, like DNA or something.
Because I don't think, but yeah, that would have been smart.
It would have been.
He should have been. I mean, that's something that would have definitely easily, or even like, yeah. Well, I guess he couldn't turn into Linda Hamilton or anything like that. But yeah. So eventually, Arnold ends up catching back up to him, and they go inside like the turbine room.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I think
the
it
one
was
where
that. Yeah,
the giant spin things.
and it's a hydropower plant.
Hydropower plant. Yeah.
And they have no fucking clue how they're going to beat this Rev-9.
They're winging it.
But
at
Danny
this
says, right here, we're
point. Right
making
now,
a stand.
this is where we make the stand.
And they say, okay, Danny,
We trust you. I don't know why, because you're an 18-year-old
You shot
girl,
a gun
but we
for the
trust
first
you.
time 20 minutes ago, but
And
you are
you're calling the
now our
shots.
general. You're going to do, yeah. And they
It's
say,
ridiculous.
all right. And yeah, because again, no EMP. So this thing's just going to murder him.
Yeah.
But through the grace of God and the goodwill of man, they end up overcoming.
They do.
And Arnie ends up, classic Arnold, he gets down for the count. Of course, he's always got a reboot. He's like an old Mac.
Well, yeah.
It happens in every goddamn,
yes.
yeah. He's got it, because, because you think he's dead, but then he finally,
Reboots, because Sarah's yelling at him.
And it's right, because it's right at the climax, right, when things are getting bad.
Yep.
Mackenzie Davis' character, earlier on, she talks about how luckily, she's got an EMP inside of her that she can use.
Yep.
But you got to kill her. You got to cut it out. So Mackenzie Davis' character, Grace, is pretty much done out.
Oh, she's done. Yeah. I mean, she's going to die anyway. It was a KC-10 extender.
Yeah. Is that a real thing? Why is there a Wikipedia page for it?
I have no idea.
Yeah, by using a KC 10 extender force. Yeah. So she ends up taking the fucking EMP out of her body.
Yep.
She ends up making the big sacrifice. And that's it for Grace. She's
Adios.
unless they can't send her back. She wasn't an actual robot. She was a human.
Right. But she doesn't actually die.
No.
Yeah.
Because
it changes the future.
Yeah,
which
because
will also change the past.
Yeah, and we end up finding out that Danny's character in the future ended up saving Grace because Danny's really 20 years older than Grace, but she's from the future. But so now Danny never has to send her back in the first place.
Yeah, I think that's how that works.
That was the whole thing, was like, she's not really dead because it will never happen.
It'll just never happen. So they just won't know each other.
Well, no, because they didn't beat anything. They didn't beat Legion.
No.
So it's all going to kick off still. So they're still like, but Danny's going to know now that Grace, because Danny originally didn't know Grace when she first saw her, because that future hasn't happened yet, because she was supposed to die. So now that this all happens, Danny, when she's older, she's gonna know exactly where to find Grace, and she's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I know you, because I'm back here."
Okay.
But Grace isn't gonna know anything.
No, she won't know.
Yeah, it's fucking confusing and
is super
stupid.
confusing.
It's so dumb because it's doesn't make any sense at all. Not a lot of it, but yeah, she ends up getting out the EMP and sticking it into the head of the Rev. Only after Arnie boots back up.
Yep.
And
you know what? He did the very heroic thing.
He sacrificed himself.
Sacrifice himself.
That's all he does in any
does
movie.
It every single movie. I gotta
It's
say,
so
man,
original.
The T-800 was a good brand. The
Well, yeah,
2000's
man.
not very nice.
Because like
they got a soul.
Because once you're done with your mission, you don't go off and live an entire life. You sacrifice yourself. Like in the T2, after he was saved John.
Right.
He didn't hang around and start a fucking carpeting business. He put himself in lava.
Yeah.
It was done. It was over. It didn't make any sense. That did not make it. You don't go and like start a band or something like that. It's not like graduating college.
Now. Yeah. Like, man, there are a lot of things to do here.
Yeah.
This is gonna be fun.
Why? Yeah, it's odd. But yeah, he makes the ultimate sacrifice, and a big electronic EMP explosion happens, and they end up frying the Rev-9 because, again, that thing wasn't gonna stop.
No, it wasn't.
Because they threw it in a turbine.
Yeah.
And he got the fucking turn cycle on him, and
he was just fine.
Yeah, he was a little fucked up.
He was. To be fair, he was
Like that did something weird to him, but he was still rocking and rolling, baby. Those things never stop. And that's it.
That's it.
That's the ending. Is Danny is now going to be trained by Sarah. I don't even think they're gonna attempt to stop I keep this saying Cyberdyne. It's Legion.
It's Legion now. Yes. Okay. So question. Do you think?
Do you have like 30 of them? Because I do.
Well, I do in regard to the movie, but more specifically, what is going to take place in the future? Now, James Cameron said this is going to be the last Terminator.
Yes.
But do you think it will?
Never.
I don't think so either.
One, James Cameron has no say.
And they also kept this open-ended too. You could very well make another movie of this, Cash. There's no way you couldn't.
They will, yeah. I mean, after the last 5 Terminators, people have said this one's so bad it's gonna be the last one. If there's money in it, they're gonna keep making them.
Yep.
We know that it's reboot. We're the reboot generation.
Yeah, we really are. We really are.
We can't let if it makes money, man. They're gonna keep doing it. Yeah, absolutely, and they're gonna keep sending Arnold back. And he's going to keep doing the same exact shit every single time. And they're going to keep making them. But, yeah, that's how it ends. Is again, they're not going to try to stop Legion, I guess. They're just saying, we got to just deal with it now.
Yep.
We're going to... Well, I'm guessing Linda Hamilton character, Sarah Connor, maybe he's even going to be dead by the time. Because it was 2040 when Grace
she'll
was
probably
around.
she's
so
probably
maybe
dead.
she's just thinking, thank God I don't even have to deal with this bullshit.
I'm out.
I'll train you, but then put a bullet in my head.
Seriously.
Yeah, so I guess, but again, like, why would you not even try to stop Legion now?
I don't know.
I don't know either, Mason.
It's too much for me.
A lot of questions.
That is.
A lot of time travel is a sticky
It's
situation.
a tough business. I don't think anyone does it better than Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Well, oddly enough.
It's I've seen some.
But the way they explain like alternate universes makes total sense in that show.
Well,
like,
as far
show.
as Terminator 2 goes, Judgment Day, it makes really, really good sense for time travel.
Mm-hmm.
Like James Cameron, like he sat down and he did like what you got to do is actual fucking math. You got to figure out. And another, like Rick and Morty does a very good job. Another good show that dealt very well with time travel was Futurama.
Yes, Futurama was great.
But they like 80% of their writers were like physicists. That was a big thing. Is a lot of Futurama were like mathematicians and stuff, and they got it. So that's what you need if you're gonna do time travel. You need to have someone on your board, or like Interstellar did time travel good too.
They did it great.
But that's because Christopher Nolan was constantly talking to scientists. You know, he had scientists. I think he had Neil deGrasse Tyson even come on at one point, and
probably. And you know that
he'll
guy will tell you
fucking
everything wrong with your movie
until you can't stand the man anymore, and you have to force him to leave.
Like, please leave
Neil,
the room.
you're just a
Neil
buzzkill. But yeah, I mean that's what you gotta do, and that's my biggest complaint is this movie. It's very obvious that they did not do that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any scientists on this.
No,
because by that third act, it gets more into the fiction than does the science. It breaks off into the sci-fi and gets in that fiction. But again, saying all that, I still enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, so did I.
The action scenes were good. It's the best. It is the best Terminator since Terminator 2.
Unquestionably.
But the bar is so fucking low. It's bottom. I mean, you can't. It doesn't get worse than Terminator 3. Fucking Rise of Machines. I thought that was so. I like Terminator Salvation more than a lot of people did because they did something different. That was the only one that ever kind of ventured into something different. But Genesis, I thought, was very generic. But I like the characters a lot in this. I thought they worked very well. I liked the action too. You know, it's not like the score or anything was anything spectacular or anything. Right. That was very generic also. But what's your closing thoughts on it? Should we give our grades?
Yeah. We'll give our grades and my closing thoughts on this film. I didn't hate this movie, but I also didn't love it. It was very run of the mill for me. I thought the action hit, but the story, I didn't feel like the story was as well explained as it should have been. So for me, I just gave this movie just a run of the mill C. Just
really?
A C. Yep.
That's right where I'm about. I'm about C minus C, and but yeah. I mean, solid. It's It's a C for sure. I mean, it's right. It's not. They shouldn't. It's not even in the same tier as Terminator 1 or Terminator 2.
No, of course not.
And they should,
because those are both A's.
And them hyping it up. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it might be 100%. The second one for sure is 100%.
For sure is a plus. Yeah.
But yeah, so them hyping it up, saying they hyped it up way too much, saying like it's up there with those ones. They did too much of that, and it is the official T3 until we get
a T4.
Until we get another T3, and they say forget that fucking one. We were really wrong.
We screwed up the last 3 times. We promise we won't do it the 4th.
Oh man, a lot of forgetting we have to do.
Yeah, we do.
And it's tough to do when it's something as complicated as time travel. But yeah, I'm right. C minus, C, I think.
Yep.
Right around there. I'd say it's, if you really want, I think if you're a big Terminator fan, you're gonna dislike it more than other people. But if you're just a movie fan,
yeah, I think you'll like it. I mean, like,
I think so too.
A good weekend out with your family or whatever. This is a cool movie to go see, definitely. And I think you should go see it because it's not a terrible movie by any stretch of the imagination. But if you are a diehard, it's
and if you're there for if you're there for the story and you really want that Skynet lore, you're not going to get that. But the action scenes are as well done as you can do. And again, Tim Miller does we saw that with Deadpool.
Deadpool's dope.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he does good. He does good ways of sprinkling in humor, and it's not humor that doesn't feel cheesy or tacked on.
No, it was great humor. It's
not
funny.
Forced. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our Terminator.
That is our Terminator review. So if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, leave a comment below. You can find our podcast on any platform available: Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. Twitter, Seen It Podcast. Cash is on Twitter. That's just Cash. Instagram, Have You Seen It? Facebook, Have You Seen It? My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Kraus. Until next time.
Adios.